Hello everyone, it's Phil from One Wall Studio here today to demonstrate the new add-on expansion pack from Audio Assault for Grind Machine 2, known as the Hidden Gems pack. Now, full disclosure, I am the guy who made the Hidden Gems pack, essentially. I got all the profiles, I made all the IRs, and the guys over at Audio Assault then translated those things into a usable format for Grind Machine. Now, of course, the IRs are all stored in your typical WAV format, so you can use them as you please. This particular pack comes with 12 new preamps for Grind Machine 2, all under the Hidden Gems moniker, and 15 impulses under the Hidden Gems moniker as well. Now, all of these are from my personal favorite cab that I have here in the studio. There are 3 positions for each microphone that I used, 5 microphones total, and that comes to a total of 15. So I'm going to show off a couple of things that you can do here that are special to this pack. Now, you'll notice that there are couple of clean channels, all of which sound radically different. And at default, you can tell that it's a pretty good amp. All of them have very different characteristics and sounds. Keep in mind, these are all the clean channels. Let's start cycling through some of the crunchier channels. I'll start with Dolly 1. Very loud channel. Now you'll notice here, all of these IRs have very different focuses. And when you adjust the impact knob, you start to feel the real impact of the cab. So you can feel some of that low end without having to adjust the bass itself. Because the bass creates a whole different feel. Impact smooths out the high end and does some other magic to make the low end feel a little bit rumblier. Now, as always, with every channel, in my opinion, the tight button works great. Really cranks up the gain and puts the focus on the highs and the mids. And of course, if I feel that the tone isn't that great for this particular song, I can always just Now, the Dolly is one of my favorite amps in the collection, but all of these have their own distinct flavors and sounds that I've come to appreciate for use in any mix. For example, the crunch channel of the Magnet, in my opinion, sounds incredible with a whole bunch of, like, knobs turned. This amp was basically meant to be cranked to 11. On the other hand, once you go into the dirty channel, the developer of this plugin decided that there should be 2 different gain staging versions of this particular channel. So you've got dirty, and then you've got the dirty mod, both of which have different flavors of distortion. So the modded version has a very woofy, very aggressive tube sound. It's almost woolly. And then here's the original version. With a more pronounced flavor. So it's a lot cleaner sounding. But if you're going for a really interesting effect, the mod channel is straight up filthy. So up next we have the Mango Shadows OD, which is the overdrive channel of the Mango Shadows. Bam, a tone that I like with this song. It's extremely realistic sounding to me. Because, of course, I have the actual amps to compare it to, and I can tell you right away, this combination of amp and cab is exactly the way it would sound when I mic it up. Now, of course, every amp has its own character, and every amp will have different combinations of cabs and mic sounds that work well with it. And of course, you could always go to the default pack or the Dominator cabs that came as a free update. Using any of the default cabs, you can still get a great sound. Importantly, when you're using an external cab sim, you can usually load multiple different IRs, and some will allow you to do it like this. Choosing a combination of the different cabs that you like in order to blend a tonal flavor that most other places will say, yeah, you could, but we have all in one IR. I like to use each of these as if it's a different mic on the cab. That's why all of these are the same cab with different mics, because you can blend the flavors and still have an extreme level of phase cohesion. What I mean by that is, if you invert the phase of one of the channels when they're perfectly balanced, they null almost perfectly, with the exception of the artifacts that you might want to get rid of by blending two different mics. So this is getting rid of the high-end wiriness of one of the cabs. Creating a much beefier tone overall. Now, one thing you could also do, and something that I worked really hard to accomplish, is using a cab loader that allows you to load, say, 5 or 6 different IRs and still have the same effect of everything sounds good totally. So this has 3 different cabs on one side, 3 different cabs on the other side, creating 2 different tones on either side. But listen to what happens when you null just one of them. So now you've got 3 mics on either side on the same cab coming through here. Now, the best part is, no matter how many of the IRs you stack on top of each other, it'll always be the same. They'll all be very closely approximated to each other in terms of phase, and thus you can invert the phase, literally cancel out almost perfectly every time. What this means is, whether you're using 6 IRs, 2 IRs, or 1 IR, you can find the perfect combination of amp, cab, whatever you want, and create totally different tonal flavors than are available in any other place you'll ever find in a cab sim, possibly even the world. Because what I've done here is I've collected some of the most interesting hidden gems that very few people actually own. I've taken amps that I've modded, I've taken amps that I've found, used, junked, needed repairs, or just all in all were unique circuits, and have profiled every single one of them to put into this amp sim. So overall, I hope you guys really enjoyed this demo and learned a thing or two. One of the most important parts of my workflow isn't necessarily knowing which cab to use or which mic position to use, but really experimenting with the different positions available to me as if I was moving mics on a cab. That workflow is what I simulated here and what I really wanted to capture. I feel like with a lot of amp sims, you lose the ability to just scroll through things. That's what I love about Grind Machine, is that you can just right, left, find different positions. As you can see from the other ones, I had to go through and load all the IRs and then press left or right, or I had to load all the IRs over here and then scroll through and then double click or do whatever to blend. But there's no shame if you want to use an external IR loader. The other important thing is the impact knob really does something magical that makes it feel like a blend of my cab when cranked and the IR itself. You can get ridiculously unique and beautiful tones out of this. So with 12 new preamp channels and 15 IRs that you can use in any IR loader, or with the impact knob here, with the inclusion of the tight button in recent updates, you can create so many tonal variations that nobody else will have at their disposal, all for the low price of $9 on sale right now if you already own Grind Machine 2, or you can wait until later and buy it for $20 when it's no longer on sale. That is the best amp and cab ratio of any amp sim ever that you will ever find, even off sale. So get it while you can if you already own Grind Machine 2. If not, definitely consider buying Grind Machine 2. I have another video demonstrating the powers and capabilities of Grind Machine 2 itself, the vanilla version. Do yourself a favor and get the Hidden Gems pack as well, because it's going to do so much to change the way you look at tone, to change the way you look at using impulse responses if you didn't already think of it that way already. And it's going to make a huge difference in the way your music sounds, completely different than anybody else's. Because I hate to say it, but everybody wants to make the same thing over and over again. Everybody wants to model the same amps and take IRs the same cabs. They're creating a market where things sound very similar. And honestly, if you want to break new ground and make new tonal combinations, well, maybe you just need to find some hidden gems and make your own combinations. This is Phil Zio from Untitled Studio. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. This is the first time I've ever shilled my channel in that way, but leave a comment in the comment section and I'll get back to you. I will respond to every comment as usual. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you guys later.